exact color of his skin. My eyes start to sting, and I have to blink fast to keep the tears back, because if anyone else got killed over my secret, it would break my heart into a million pieces.
"Whoa,"
the major calls, and the wagon jerks to a stop. He sets the wheel brake and hops down. I knee peony forward to see what's halted us. The creek is dammed by a warren of branches and mud. Above the dam, the creek widens into the prettiest pond I ever saw, teeming with cattails and buzzing dragonflies. The pond's headwater is a stair-stepped rapids, frothing white. There, a huge blue heron stands sentry like a statue, eye on the surface, waiting for his next meal to wriggle by. A lone grassy hill overlooks it all, well above the flood line, big enough to pitch a whole mess of tents. "Glory be," Becky Joyner whispers, staring agape. Jefferson's big yellow dog, Nugget, gives a delighted yip and rushes forward, scattering a whole mess of sparrows. "Beaver," I tell Becky. "They always pick the nicest spots."
"Beaver Dam means fish,"
Major Craven says with a fever in his eyes, same as my daddy always got when he talked of gold. Mr. Hoffman ambles over, frowning.
"You sure there's enough distance between us and those claim jumpers?" "This is California territory," Tom says. "Can't set up camp without taking a risk."
"But if we make camp on that hill," I say, pointing, "we can see folks coming at us. And we'll set a watch, just like when we were with the wagon train." No one protests.
"Let's get to work,"
the major says. We skirt the pond and head uphill, where we unload the wagon, let the animals out to graze, and start bringing a fire pit. We move fast and with sure hands. We've all done it 100 times before. Hampton whistles jauntily, and Henry shares a joke and a laugh with the other college men. I'm the only one who sets about the work with heavy hands and a frown. We're well enough into the mountains that some of the oaks have given way to conifers, and our evening fire smells sharp of pine wood. The dogs, Nugget and Coney, are exhausted from exploring, and they curl up together as near to the fire as they dare. The major caught a whole mess of trout, and he showed Becky how to roll them in flour batter and fry them up, which makes for the most delicious meal we've had in months, especially since the major had a hand in cooking it. I'm licking my greasy fingers clean when Jefferson says to everyone gathered around the fire,
"Plenty of timber to be had, and this hill is sound. The boys and I could have some shanties built in days."
Mr. Hoffman agrees.
"Like the ones we saw along the river. Maybe even a cabin before winter."
"I'd dearly like a cabin for the little ones," Becky says. Her baby daughter sits in her lap, facing us all. The baby kicks her chubby legs out at irregular intervals, babbling at nothing in particular. We're well enough into the mountains to get a little snow.
"A cabin would keep our goods a lot drier than a shanty,"
Jasper says.
"It's settled then,"
Mr. Hoffman says.
"Tomorrow morning, my boys and I will lay out a foundation. Lee and Jefferson can help everyone else stake claims, all adjacent like we planned."
Jasper lifts his tin mug as if it's full of ale instead of pine needle tea and says,
"Here's to finding our winter home." "What are we going to call it?"
Henry asks.
"Call it?"
Mr. Hoffman says.
"If it's a settlement, it needs a name."
Luther brightens.
"We could call it Good Diggins."
Martin, his older brother, snorts and cuffs him on the shoulder.
"Numbskull."
"Don't call your brother names," Mrs. Hoffman says from some distance away. When it comes to her children, that woman has the ears of a bat.
"But we passed too many other Diggins already," Martin protests. "Smith's Diggins, Missouri Diggins, Negro Diggins. How about prosperity?"
The major says.
"That's what it's going to bring us."
Becky frowns. "Shouldn't count our chickens before they hatch, or weigh our gold before it's shining. That's just asking for the Lord to humble you."
"You've a fair point there, ma'am,"
the major says.
"What about hope? Because if there's one thing I already have a whole mess of, it's hope."
Maybe it's a trick of the firelight, but Becky's gaze on the major